An insider's view of practicing mindfulness. I've been practicing mindfulness in various forms, but mostly Buddhist, for about at least 15 years, so you could say I'm an insider. I'd like to, you know that there's the good stuff and the bad side about mindfulness, or of everything, including mindfulness. Well, I mean, this guy here, sorry, I just want to show you, this guy here, uh, John, John Kabat-Zinn, I never know, his name sounds Iranian, he was the, he was the pioneer who introduced mindfulness practice into the medical arena, and it's now slowly being introduced into mainstream establishments, hospitals, medical centres. Mainstream mindfulness has went mainstream, and it's all thanks to John Kabat-Zinn. If you read his book, you'll see that he's modified it from the Buddhist world, mostly from the Zen world and from the Theravada world. So I was an ex-Theravada monk. I lived in Japan for a few years, and it's obvious to me that mindfulness practice in many instances is not sufficient. I'll give you some instances. One of the main Theravada monasteries in the Western world is called Amravati. As I said, the full mindfulness practice comes from Buddhism. John Kabat-Zinn was first introduced to the mindfulness practice by Buddhists. It's a 2,000-year-old Buddhist practice. In Pali, in ancient Buddhist language, it's called the first discourse which the Buddha gave about it is called the Satipatthana discourse, or the building of mindfulness. So those who have the most ancient tradition of practicing mindfulness have been in that tradition, and Amravati is one of the main proponents of mindfulness. But it's worth noting that even within Amravati temple, the abbot of the temple, who's called Ajahn Sumedho, he organised for the monks, well, I don't know about the nuns, but at least for the monks, to have therapy, to have group therapy. So whether or not you can say that mindfulness didn't work, you can definitely say that the monks decided, well, it was Ajahn Sumedho decided that the monks could benefit from therapy, and you can make of that what you will, and they are the main proponents of mindfulness in the Western Buddhist world. I've lived in temples where we had to do 16, 15 hours a day of mindfulness practice, and many people were just mentally unbalanced. Even some people left the meditation retreats in ambulances, and this was in Asia and in the Western world. So I'd like to give you some other limitations of mindfulness. Mindfulness has helped me, but I've had to combine it with therapy. I can't think offhand, but mindfulness is great. But for people that have got deep-seated uh, mental health problems, it's my experience that mindfulness, while it being helpful, in many cases it's not enough. And for example, it's not only me saying this, many Western senior Buddhist practitioners or mindfulness practitioners, Jack Cornfield, Joseph Goldstein, they and many others, Sharon, I forget, there's too many to name, but the Insight Meditation Society, many Western mindfulness teachers talk about the benefits of combining mindfulness with Western therapy. So, yeah, mindfulness is very powerful. John Kabat-Zinn, in this book, uh, actually documents how in controlled circumstances the benefits of mindfulness can actually be measured, and it is without doubt a very helpful practice, which is why it's gone mainstream, because its benefits can be measured and they can be replicated. It's quite scientific. I'm going to talk about in the next video about my personal experience of mindfulness practice. Okay, thank you, bye. Oops.